All right, and we're live. So, today, I'm actually like right on time. That's interesting. Okay. So today, I'm going to be studying more React concepts. So I'm going to be finishing off the React course for the Odin Project, get these 3 lessons done. I don't know if I'm going to do them all today. I'll try. But it depends on, how distracted we get and all these things, but that's okay. But I don't mind taking a couple streams to do these last concepts, and then after that, I'll be starting a small front-end project, I think. Whether it's going to be, yo, Nebula, what's up? Whether it's going to be that Pomo app or something else, I haven't fully committed on yet, because I'm also moving. Oh, you're about to sleep? Dang. Yeah, it's time zones are funny, eh? Like it's 10:30 in the morning where I am, so. But I hope you have a good rest. Okay, so let's get started here. But yeah, I don't know what project we're gonna do. I haven't fully committed to one yet. All right, so let's see. Not only will the process of managing states and passing data around become more repetitive and convenient. Yeah, we've kind of already dabbled in the context API. It's 10:30 here in the Philippines. Dang. Yeah, so you're 12 hours ahead. It's 10:30 a.m. here. I guess it's 10:30 p.m. That's crazy. Okay. Let's see. Using the context API to pass state data deep into React components, real world applications, drawbacks. Okay. Context allows globalized state management. Bye, I'm asleep now. All right, have a good night, Nebula. Or globalized state management without the need to pass, without having to pass props to children. Agnostic to the component tree structure. Go back to the project we've already built previously in the shopping cart project. You might have product detail. You might or might not look like this very awesome shop. As we already know, if we want the state to persist and be shared between components, what we do is lift the state up. Our approach prior to context was to lift state up to a common parent to allow it to be shared to children. Oh, I didn't have a component just for the product detail. Involves too much micromanagement. State. Handing off state to children down multiple levels of the component tree. Very basic application, but imagine the application as it grows in size. Yes. Yo, how's it going, RJ Tricks? Welcome in. Especially if you're going to component-based frameworks, since we're more inclined to create separate. I'm good. What about you? Yeah, I'm pretty good. Where am I from? I'm from Canada. Get a little brief bio on who I am here. You can also check out my FAQ here if you want to read more detail. Have you completed your college? Yeah, I actually have 2 degrees. I have 2 college degrees, or university. I have a degree in biology and a degree in computer science. But my computer science degree isn't software engineering, it's different. It's more of like a theoretical computer science. I didn't actually do much coding in my degree, it was mostly math. Okay, let's see. Implement context API. Yeah, so we've got create context, defines and creates the state that will be in the context. And also define defaults for the context. Default state. And this is in the parent defining for the higher level component defining the context. I guess it doesn't really need to be a parent. I guess you'd mean any component. I guess it would be producer. We could think of this as a producer. Oh, so now you're learning software dev and will apply for job. Well, not right away. What am I doing? What am I making? Here, you can, I'm studying React concepts. So I am using the Odin Project to guide my learning. And I'm at the end of the React course right now. So I'm studying React Context API. That's currently what I'm doing. And then, so yeah, eventually the idea is to maybe do a career pivot. Maybe I'll continue just to make content, whatever, I don't know. But all I do know is that I want to eventually learn software development as well as I can so that I can, you know, whether it's working, you know, applying for a corporate job or, you know, starting my own business or whatever it might be, I can kind of have the freedom to make that decision. So that's kind of on the docket for today. That's what I'm going to do. So if you go back to yesterday and like the few streams before, they're all the VODs of my streams, like we're on day 80. Every day from 1 to 79 is recorded and on my channel. And you can check out, I've built various projects over this journey as well. So some of the streams that I do are study streams. So right now I'm studying. I'm learning React context and kind of just taking some notes just to, reinforce my understanding. But other streams I do project building. So it kind of is just depending on where I am in the course. And then eventually I'm going to move on from the Odin project and start building my own full stack projects. So that's kind of the goal. Anyway, I want to see the Odin project through first. So that's kind of, yeah, that's what I do around here. Consume data from a defined context. And then I'm going to say consumer. I think thinking about this as a producer-consumer model is a better way of thinking about it. Okay, create context. We can use this hook inside of our component to retrieve the data that we need. Oh, sorry, yeah, okay. Now we're good. Context object. Accepts a value prop. Containing the context to be passed down to components, no matter how deep the nesting. But now we okay. So context object dot provider. If you see context object. This is old prior to React 19. The modern definition is context object. Yeah. You've not seen any people around you use context provider? I think it's just important to learn, Tente. Just because it gives you an understanding of how these other libraries like ZooStand and Redux work, right? This is kind of I guess the vanilla implementation of state management in React, right? So just gonna do example. Context definition. I cannot type today. Oops. Our example, blah, blah, blah. Products, cart items, add to cart. The object we define is unnecessary. We can of course do this as well. It will not be a problem at all. Okay. Set a default value. Our application will not break. Yeah. So defaults. This is important to avoid accessing null values in context. It potentially consuming yeah. Bro, in your final year and I'm also a MERN developer. Nice. So that's MongoDB, Express, React, Node, I think, right? Express is something for Node. I haven't started learning backend yet, RJ. That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't, in my degree, we didn't learn any web tech at all. So this is all brand new to me. Okay. You're a new developer? Got you. Well, it's still though. You're on your way. You're getting there, man. Do I use AI? I do not for learning, RJ, because I think it's important to understand um, what you're doing when you are using AI, and I don't think it's effective to use AI while trying to learn the concepts that you want to know when using AI. You're like stuck in AI hell. You just got to break out of it. The thing with AI, and you get and then this is part of the problem with a lot of AI, like the AI bros on the internet, right? Is you have kind of this feeling that you need to be using AI all the time because you're going to be behind. But that's kind of bullshit in my opinion. If you want to actually learn concepts and not get stuck, you just have to force yourself to not use it just to learn. You don't have to be anti AI necessarily, right? You just have to force yourself not to use it. And I guess in my case, it's a little easier because I'm a little older, so I never really used AI. Um, like ever in my degree, really. Like I mean, I've played around with it before, but I've never actually like properly used it to fully replace my learning. Because I'm also just traditional. Ah, I got you. That's fair, but the thing is, this is okay. This is my opinion, RJ. Is when you get AI to tell you something, at least for me, I don't actually like take in what AI is telling me. Like I don't remember it in the same way that I'd remember it if I was doing it without AI. But that's just me. Um, so yeah. Okay. So how do we use the context? Yeah. So we have to wrap. Um, context is returned as a component wrapping all children that may consume from it in the return of the producer. Do I do any side job for earning? No, I don't. I work a full-time job. Um, RJ, I work in IT. That's my sole context provider is different with global state manager. Interesting. Not 100% sure what you mean by that. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but yeah, no, my sole income, RJ, is my job, my day job. So I don't make. I'm not gonna say I'm far from being rich or anything like that. But I do this learning. I don't make a single dime from the YouTube stuff. I haven't been monetized. I have a job in IT. Yes, I'm a tier two IT analyst. I won't say for what industry for my privacy. Um, but I do a lot of different stuff in my job. I work at a smaller agency, so I wear a lot of hats, I guess. I do a lot of different things. Um, and I got that job purely based on luck. I had an internship between my first and second year when I was doing my CS degree, and I got a return offer. You're very afraid that you will get a job? Oh, will you get a job? Yeah, it's not easy. The way I did it, RJ, is I did an internship and then made a good impression. So once I landed that internship, that was basically my ticket. And it wasn't even really an internship. It was like a student position. Like it was an internship for all intents and purposes. But I made such a good impression on that that summer that my old manager offered me a return position when I left school. So, all right, let's see. The header component, we also remove all the props that we defined earlier. Yeah, so for use context, we just use it. And for using, and for consuming context, we just do this, right? So card items, and then it'll just be like, just do this, right? Sure. Completely remove the prop drill problem, and we conveniently put the cart items directly in the links component. Even if it's not a direct child, any component nested underneath the context as defined in the producer, or as returned, I should say, can use it. Okay. Let's also change our product detail. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. This implementation, we no longer need to pass down props from the API. No. Okay. Consumers only need to access. Consumers only need to access what they only have to access, I should say. Only have to access what they need. They don't have to grab all defined values from the producer in the context. Do reading chats with study disturb me? I've kind of gotten better at it, RJ. I can do both, and I'm happy to do both. Because it kind of, the constant context switching actually, I don't know. It's fine. I wouldn't be streaming if I wanted to study while focused. But no, I'm happy to answer questions and talk to chat. I'm also not in a rush either. The thing is too, like I already work a job, right? I have a stable income. I don't need to rush this process. Yo, it's going Prashant. How's it going? Okay. In the header component, yeah, that's what I wrote here. The overall implementation of the context API is allowed for more efficient. Yo, how's it going, Renz? Oh, that's fine. I was thinking if I chat too much, I'll disturb you. No worries, RJ. I'm happy to talk to my community, and chat with you guys. It's totally chill. Don't worry about it. You're good, because I'm here for you as much as you want to watch me. So I try to create an atmosphere in my streams where people shouldn't be afraid to chat and talk. So that what are we learning here? We are learning React Context API. But these are the topics on the agenda for today. So I'm just finishing off the Odin Project React course, and I have these 3 lessons left. So that's the final part. And then after that, then I'm going to be finished the React course, which is pretty cool. It only took us like, I don't know, 20 streams maybe? You hate React hooks, they're so complicated. React hooks are just functions, really. RJ. They're kind of just like special functions. Like utilities. I think the word hook is kind of confusing. At least to me. Drawbacks of context API. Performance issues. Cause all components that are consuming the context to re-render. Causes all consumers to re-render even if the state they are consuming has not changed. Are we going to do further in web dev, like learning backend? Yes, eventually, Prashant. Eventually. So my goal, I'll give you my little outline of my goal here. My goal is to finish this course, which I've got probably a stream or two left for these three concepts, right? And then I'm gonna do I'm gonna build 1 or 2 front end only projects, like small projects. I was thinking of maybe also building like a Wordle clone or something like that. I don't know. I have a couple ideas. And then after I'm done those, then I'm gonna move on to learning backend. Is it a free course? It's completely free, RJ. Here's a link to it. It's completely free. Also, if you're new here, I do a Pomodoro timer. So I do 25 minutes of work / chat with chat, and then I do 5 minutes break. But on the break, I also chat with chat. So I just stop what I'm doing as far as studying. But I do 5-minute breaks just to kind of clear my head. Damn, I didn't realize you were writing notes as well. I actually used to do that myself. Yeah, I do the notes mostly because, well, there's 2 reasons. One, I find it increases my comprehension when I'm reading. So when I'm actually reading, I don't just glaze over this stuff. I actually have to like understand what's on the screen and you know, I can recapitulate it in my own words. Kind of gives me a better understanding. The other reason is because when I'm building projects, I actually use my own documentation. So like, for example, like when I was building the last project, I used this class variance authority pattern that one of my viewers told me about. So I actually do use my notes quite often. You saw my way of studying and I realized I was doing so many things wrong. Well, we all have different ways of studying, RJ. There's no right way to study. But I will say my method of studying. I was in university for 7 years, okay? I graduated high school. This is going to like date me a little bit, but I graduated high school in 2018. I did a degree in biology for 5 years, okay? And I did really well in that degree. And then I also did another 2-year degree in computer science. And the reason I could do it in 2 years was because the school I went to offered an advanced standing because I already had a biology degree. So I didn't need to do any electives. But anyway, I 7 years of school. This style of studying has not failed me. So I will say, at least from my experience, this has, like this note-taking method and kind of the way I do things here has been successful for me. So, but you can study. You're free to study however you like. So, yeah, I don't know. Because I know a lot of you folks are younger than me. Not all of you. Some of you are probably older than me. But why'd you choose IT and what POV about AI will take your job? I chose IT because that's what was available, RJ. That was what I could get. When I was applying for internships, that's the only internship I got. So it was kind of, beggars can't be choosers, right? What's my point of view about AI will take my job? Where I work in, all I'll say is I work for the government, okay? And the government is very, very careful about their use of AI. Very careful. Unlike private industry. So I don't worry that AI is going to take my job anytime soon, just based on what I'm seeing at work. But again, that your mileage may vary, right? Like you might be in another job where you're like, shit, like maybe AI will take my job. I think it's less about the capability of the AI and more about how much trust management puts into it, right? And when it comes to a big organization like the government is very careful with what they trust and what they don't trust in a lot of countries, and that in Canada included, right? So, they're not going to be willy-nilly about AI, because, oftentimes we're working with data that's sensitive, right? And processes that are very sensitive. So, yes, that's what I'll say. By the way, you're from India? Nice. That's awesome. I have a lot of other fans from India too. But it's cool to see that, you know, I've got folks all over the world. Yeah, India, it's probably pretty late at night there, eh? Like, it's like, I don't know, probably like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I guess that's not really that late, but currently getting a job is crazy difficult. I agree, Prashant. I agree. 8:30, got you. Okay, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I got my IT job purely based on luck. It was very lucky. So, yeah. Nepal, awesome. That's really cool. I actually one of my coworkers is from Nepal. So that's awesome. Well, I mean he lives here now, but he's from Nepal originally. Rely on external state management. Yeah, we already got that. Your English is bad? No worries, RJ. We are not, you know, as long as I can, you know, understand you. I'll ask if for clarification if I don't understand your message. But, you know, I'm not, I don't make fun of anybody. You know, it's awesome that you're using English, right? I don't know. I don't mind at all. Okay. Make your code harder to follow. Makes code harder to follow. Am I in a remote job? Yeah, it's mostly remote, Rens. It's like 95% remote. I go into the office every month or so, once. But yeah, it's like 95% remote. I'm actually moving away from the city where my job's located. So, yeah, but I'll have to come back every so often to go back to the office. But that's okay. With the context API, it's easier to stay. However, this makes your code harder to follow, especially with deep nesting structures. Yeah, it's pretty chill. It's pretty chill. I will say, working remote is a double-edged sword because it's really nice because you get to be from home, but you also have to be routine. You have to force yourself into a routine because otherwise you will develop really bad habits. What are my PC specs? So I use a MacBook, a MacBook Pro M4 base model. So 16 gigabytes of RAM, M4 Apple Silicon. Those are my specs. At least for this computer. I have two other computers, but this computer that I use for most of my coding. Oops. Multiple smaller context. Use multiple. Jeez, I can't type today. Limits, re-renders. Yeah, that's exactly Rens. Yep. If you're not living in major cities like Kathmandu, there are literally almost zero chance of you getting a proper IT job here. Yeah. That's actually echoes what my coworker said. My coworker actually, I think like he's from Nepal, but he went to India to get an IT job originally, and then so he went from Nepal to India, and then he came from India to Canada. So. Sometimes that's a common path too. He was mentioning to me anyway. I don't know. I can't speak from experience, but sometimes context API might not even be the best solution. Sometimes context may not be the best solution. Reacts sometimes, or React's component composition. May work. I'll like link to this, I guess. It's an old article though. You're originally from Nepal and you came to India to study. That's awesome, RJ. Yeah, I think my coworker did something similar. External state management tools like useReducer and Redux. Optimized and feature rich, but have their own learning curves. We recommend sticking to context API for the rest of this course. Well, too bad. We already use useReducer, so too bad. Do I also do LeetCode and DSA? Yeah, I do. So I learned some DSA in my degree, RJ. And I haven't been practicing it lately, but yeah, I have done LeetCode in the past. I need to get back onto the grind a little bit. I do actually enjoy doing LeetCode problems sometimes. Anyway, I wouldn't enjoy it if I was grinding for a job, but it keeps my DSA skills sharp. So I do it occasionally. I don't stream it though. Maybe I will someday. I'm also not like a DSA master or anything. I'm like probably like an intermediate level. This is Obsidian. Murray. This is Obsidian. It's a note-taking app. Here, I can give you a link to it. It's a markdown-based note-taking app. You've only done 18 questions in total. I think I've done like, I don't know, maybe 30 or something. I don't know. Something like that. 30 or 40. I don't remember. I haven't done much of it. I actually only learned about LeetCode like pretty late. Okay, so let's see. The React docs provide more engaging examples. You can check out by going through the documentation on passing data deeply with context. So, passing data deeply with context. We've got that a lesson to do, and then we're going to do prop drilling. With this guy. Don't like it? Why? You'll be back soon dinner times. No worries, RJ. You don't like it? Well, I like it because it renders markdown. That's why I like it, because I can put in code snippets. I can put in links really easily. I can back it up on GitHub really easily. Like if I wanna commit this to GitHub, I can just do, sorry, not Control K, Control P, git commit and sync, and then I can sync it to my GitHub. So I like its simplicity. But there are many tools for the job. You don't have to use it. I just prefer to use it. Okay. Usually you pass information from parent component to child. Context lets you build a little bit of, okay. Passing props is a great way to explicitly pipe through data. Yeah, we already got this. Yeah, maybe I have to explore more about it. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. That's just why I like it personally. Say you want multiple headings with the same section. Always have the same size. Currently pass the level prop to each heading separately. Nice to pass the level prop to the section. Ah, yeah, and then you could do that. With the context, right? Yeah, we already did all this already. What chapter are you at right now? I'm on Odin Project path. I am on managing state with the context API. at the very end of the React course. So I've got this. Once I finish the React course, I've got a little databases course, which will take to like a stream probably, and then Node.js, and then there's this getting hired course, but I'm not sure I'm gonna bother with it because I'm not looking for a job immediately. So I'll probably leave this guy. But databases and Node.js. So I'm almost done. I'm like probably 2/3 of the way through the Odin project at this point. Anyway. Yeah, I'm hired in a different job, but yes, I am hired. I do have a job. But I mean, if I ever want to make a career pivot, I might revisit that getting hired section. Because like I do want to make a career pivot eventually, but like the job market is so cooked right now, I don't really want to leave my job. Because I mean, I've been in this job for a year, and like, well, you know, it's not the best job ever, but you know, like I'm not gonna risk leaving it and then not being able to find another one because that would screw me up. So at least for the time being, I'm gonna stay. So yeah, job market is cooked. Yeah, exactly. Job market. I can't speak. Yeah, it is cooked. I agree. Here one refers to the base heading level. Yeah, okay. Use the context. We already did all this stuff. Okay, that's good. Provide the context. And then you wrap it like this. Fine. Although this, I don't think. Have I tried to freelance? Not yet, but I may eventually, Marie. I may honestly, like once my web dev skills are up to snuff, then I might give it a go. Maybe leverage my community, see if anyone has any opportunities. I don't know. I have not tried that yet, but I'm open to it. Using and providing context from the same component. Currently have to let's see. Since context lets you read information from a component above, each section could read the level from section above and pass level +1 down automatically. Okay, that's interesting. You can pass context from you can modify context in subtree in the following way. Example, and then I'll say like example. Section receives or consumes context from its parent, and it can modify, increment that context in another provider passed down to its children. And then I can put this code snippet in here. Like this. Oops. I'll probably... Oh yeah, this code's all fucked up. I might actually just like type it manually because the copy pasting from this is ass. Let's go. Yes, indeed. So I'll just type this. Import use context from React. Import level context. These imports aren't really that important. And then, so we return the section, and then class name. And then within this guy, do level context value level +1. And then the children. Good. Cool. All right, with this change, you don't need to pass the level prop either to the section or the heading. You just need to pass it to the parent, probably. Or maybe you don't, because if there's a default value of 1, then that would work. Okay. This example use headings levels because they show visually how nested components can override context. Context passes through intermediate components. You can insert as many components as you like. Yeah, I knew this. Context can pass as deeply as you want or need. Same post component. Oh, I see. The same component may exist at various different levels of the hierarchy. Component tree, I should say. And use the modified context according to its level. E.g., if there are in our nested sections example with smaller subheadings with decreasing subheading size, with nesting post components. Probably capitalize this. Post components underneath a subheading can use the context of its level in the hierarchy to style uniquely, maybe, or something. How do I want to say this? To style appropriately. Further, it'd be like i.e. posts nested further appear smaller. Or something like this, right? You don't have to do anything special for this work. Section specifies the context for the tree inside it, so you can insert a heading anywhere. It'll have the correct size. Components can adapt to their surroundings. I like that kind of way of putting it. This is similar to CSS. Modified values, yeah. Different properties like color and background color don't override each other. Similarly, different React contexts don't override each other. However, different React contexts don't override each other. Because you need to pass some props several levels deep doesn't mean you should put the information into context. Yeah, I'm probably going to leave this out of the notes. Context use cases. Theming. Allows components to read the currently logged in user from currently logged in user, yeah, sure. Routing. Many solutions use context internally to hold the current route. Crazy, your video popped up in your feed right after you completed watching a video in context. That's awesome, my gosh. It's, you know, it was meant to be, I guess. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. If you want to see what I'm working on here, I'm doing React context and then a couple more lessons in the at the end of the Odin Project React course. So that's funny. Okay. Routing, managing state. Might end up with a lot of state close to the top of your app. Any distant components below may want to change it. Common to use a reducer together with context. Yo, how's it going, Casey? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, let's see. Common to use a reducer together with context to manage complex state and provide it to distant leaf components. I still don't know what reducer is yet, but we're going to learn that. Okay, so we got some challenges. I forgot about these challenges. These challenges in the React dev. React dev forums. Okay, so let's do this here. Let's fork this guy. Probably not gonna know my login right away. Yeah, I might have to sign in here. Sign in with GitHub. Okay, there we go. All right, let's fork it. Cool. Okay, so what's the challenge here? Replace prop drilling with context. In this example, toggling this checkbox, I'm actually gonna maybe do this like this. Toggling the checkbox changes the image size prop passed to place image. The checkbox state is held in the top level app component, but each place image needs to be aware of it. Is this all in one file? I think so. Context. Here's the context. Okay. I see. Maybe put the preview on the bottom though. Is there a way to like flip this around? It's not a big deal. Checkbox state is held at the top level, but each place image needs to be aware of it. Currently, app passes the image size to list, which passes it each to place, which passes it to the place image. Remove the image size prop and instead pass the app component directly to place image. You can declare the context in context.js. Okay. All right, so let's see first what's happening. Actually, it's about to be the break, so I'll just take the break, and then we'll do this after break. Okay. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Sunday morning, wherever you are. It's currently Sunday morning, 11:26 a.m. where I am. Having a little snack break. You're getting a cold? Oh, that sucks. I hope you get over it soon. That's ass. I had a cold, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, a month ago. I don't know. It was minor, but could have also been allergies. I'm not sure. It's kind of a weird time of year to get a cold, though. I'm out, well, unless it's, I don't know, usually you think of getting colds in like the winter, but, or the fall. I think the first order of business for this, when we get to it, is to remove the prop passing, right? Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Just, you know, maybe have some tea and vitamin C. You know, maybe take some medicine like acetaminophen or something. Sometimes that helps. I usually have lemon and ginger tea when I'm sick. It actually makes my throat feel nice. That or like chicken broth. Really helps quite a bit. Even if it's from a can. I know the canned stuff is ass, but I remember one time when I was a student, I got sick and I, you know, didn't have no mum soup or anything. So I went to the grocery store and got the cheapest canned chicken soup that I could and just sipped on the broth, and it helped like immensely. Both of those you've used before, yeah. Like I remember it tasted like terrible because I don't really like chicken soup generally. It was chicken and rice soup. And I was sipping the broth, but it like helped my sinuses, my throat like so much, even if it tastes like not that good. I remember I was like watching a YouTube video trying to study for a midterm, like sipping this tea or this soup. And I'm like, oh, those were the days, man. I was like miserable in my little student apartment. studying like whatever it was. Like I don't even remember. I think it was a Principles of Programming course or something. It's like lambda calculus or something like that. If you know what lambda calculus is, shout out. That is actually good if you want to learn about how functional programming works. Learning lambda calculus is actually like kind of good for that. Because that actually taught me like Haskell at a very basic level. Was that course? Even if I hate it, I can't use Haskell for anything real, but I could whip up a a simple like calculator app in that. You're aware of lambda, just not in that context. Yeah. So like, let me look it up. Lambda calculus is just like it's a formal system for expressing computation based on functional abstraction and application. It's basically like the foundational discrete math behind like functional programming. So you basically have three patterns. You have a variable, an abstraction, which is a function, and then an application or a combination of two. So you have like a union here. You have the abstraction, and then you just have the variable definition here. I don't know. It's like very math based. As I say, my degree was more math than anything else. But anyway, okay. So let's get back to it here. So let's remove this context, right? Or not this context. Sorry, the prop. So image size. So image size is passed to the list, which we don't need. And then we don't need to pass it to the place. It's gonna yell at me. And then we don't need to pass it to the place image either, because we're gonna use the context. Seems interesting? Yeah, it is interesting. So we'll say const image context equals use context, or what was it? Create context. And then we're gonna set some sort of default, right? Do image size. Where's the is large? I guess I'll just say 100 or something. And then I want to export this constant. So we can import it. And then I'll say const image size is use context. Actually, I don't even think I need it here. I think I can just wrap it. Actually, I might need that, sorry. I might need that image size here. Or can I just do it like this? I think I can just do it like that, and then I can do all the way down into place image. I can do the use context. Create context is not defined. Why? Oh, because I didn't import it. And then I need to import use context too. Oh yeah, I already have that. Okay. The hell? Type error, cannot read properties of null. The fuck? That should work. Value level. Create context. Where's the create context? I guess I could just do like, instead of an object, and just do 100 or something. Not read properties of null. Okay. Exports. Use context. We imported it. I am confused. Or is it because we're grabbing it from an object or something, I wonder. Yeah, that could be. I think I might just do this. Still doesn't fix it. Fuck, what the hell? Image context. Create context, image context. Okay, I'm just gonna see what the answer is, because we basically like did this here. Image size, context value, image size, yeah, we did that. Then we use it here, image size context. Then we import that from context. This is literally what we did. Oh, maybe because the import's wrong. Is it just React? Dude, what the what? We basically did that. Import use context from React. Oh, maybe this could be wrong too. We can just add this to this import. There we go. All right. So it was just the imports were bad. I was gonna say, I'm like, this is weird. Okay. All right, so we got it. Nice. And we'll bring back our notes. Was it Op-Shift-6? There we go. Okay. Prop drilling. The goal of this post is not only to help you understand what prop drilling is, but also when it can be a problem and mechanisms you can use to avoid it. Okay. look at a very simple example of a stateful component. Refactor into two components, toggle and switch. Simple enough. The switch needs a reference to toggle. Right, because we have toggle and then we return switch, and then the switch returns the message in the button. Okay. Why prop drilling is good. You ever work in an application that use global variables? Reason is that community has largely rejected these methodologies, blah, blah, blah. It becomes difficult for anyone to find where the data is initialized. Okay, so global data is hard to track, i.e. where it is initialized. Therefore, prop drilling can be good in the sense that it's very obvious where data was defined and which components can access / modify it. Okay. Prop drilling in its most basic level is simply explicitly passing values through the view. Yeah, exactly. It's great because if you're coming to the toggle above and decide to refactor the on state, you could easily be able to track all places used. The explicit nature of the data is good for visibility and data tracking. In our contrived example, there's absolutely no problem, blah, blah, blah. As it grows, state management can become tedious. If you have a prop, let's say you have a prop chain and you remove one link in the chain, all its previous children need to receive, all of its previous children will be disconnected from that chain, and refactoring, and what should I say, and you will need to refactor or something. Various other one of the things that really aggravates problems with prop drilling is breaking your render method into multiple components unnecessarily. I guess render, that's kind of old, right? Yeah, this is kind of old. Do not break out child components too early. Introduces too much complexity too soon in the development cycle. right? Something like this. Avoid using default props. I don't know what that is. I guess this is like a older. Oh, it's this. I see. Okay. Component props as the props as which props the component as is not as obvious, right? Differences because of the way the app API was designed, you can still statically find. Conclusion, prop drilling can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. Okay. I think that's it when it comes to this lesson. Cool. Let's do the reducing state. We're 88% complete the React course now. We have 2 lessons left. Probably heard about reducers. In this lesson, we're going to use what they are, when they use them, and how to use them. Reducers are pure functions. Always return the same output with the same input. Do not rely on side effects that take in a previous state and return a new state. Okay. The action is an object with a type property describing what the user did. React is good for only JSX. Fair enough. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Tante, I think it's important to learn these concepts just so that I know, you know, I can have a broader understanding of how React works. And then I can kind of use my discretion to decide which parts of React I do use and I don't use and why. That's, again, kind of like my, I guess, philosophy on that. Defining a reducer as a function. Just kind of like put this in here. Pure functions, so yeah. Pure as well as they do not mutate state. Okay. Component only needs to update its state in a couple of simple ways. You don't need to use reducers. The opposite can be said. Okay, so by using reducers, we can separate state logic and store it in a separate file or directory, leading to smaller components that are easier to read. useReducer. Yeah, so it takes in reducer function and an initial state as arguments, then returns an array with two values, the current state and a dispatch function. Dispatch receives an action. That gets passed to the reducer function, and the returned value from the reducer function updates the state. Okay. So something like this. I see, that makes sense. Similarly to how React updates state with the set function, in useState, React only updates the state in the next render after calling the dispatch function. Okay. React only updates state in the next render. Okay, what's the difference between useContext and useReducer? So useContext is essentially for passing data and state from like down multiple levels of a component tree without having to do prop drilling, which is essentially like handoffs of props from like children to children. That's what React context is for. So if you have like a top level component, you can define a context and then all of its children, regardless of how deep, can access that state. Whereas reducing state is basically an abstraction of state outside of a component so that the state logic doesn't need to be contained within the component itself. And then you can update state. You can kind of externalize state management. If that makes sense, Trey. That's kind of my understanding. I've only been looking at this for a couple minutes, but that's kind of my understanding, at least at a surface level. In the next render, after calling dispatch, keep in mind that these functions use object.is to determine if the state has changed. If it hasn't, the component will re-render. Okay. Whether you use useState or useReducer, they're both equivalent. Yeah. What is my VS Code theme? This isn't VS Code necessarily. This is Obsidian Res, but my theme for it is let me check. Editor. Where did I got the theme, I think, Where did I get the theme from? I don't remember. Oh, minimal. Oh wait, no, manage. Let's see. What do I have? Minimal. Yeah, minimal theme. That's my theme. But you can use different themes as well. Like I could use this theme if I wanted to. So there, that's how easy it is to switch themes. This actually, I might use this one. This is actually closer to what I use. I actually kind of like this. This is like the Atom theme or whatever. This is closer to what my VS Code looks like, so I should actually probably keep that. But my VS Code theme specifically, Rens, like even though I'm not using VS Code, is Atom 1 Dark. But you can get it there. I don't know. I didn't know what you were referring to necessarily. Because this is not. Well, I kind of like the minimal one. Like we can go back. See, this is how easy it is to change it. Bam. Easy. All right. Extracting state logic into a reducer. And then we got some exercises probably at the end, right? 4 exercises. Okay, cool. And then useReducer. Okay. So let's put these as. Am I working on any project? No, right now I'm learning React concepts, Trey. Yeah, that's awesome, Renz. You should definitely use it. I recommend it, 100%. Extracting state logic into reducer. Logic into a reducer. And I'll get this link here. And then for the other article, I'll do use reducer docs, official docs. And then I'll take any notes I deem necessary from this, but I'm probably just going to skim it. Cool. All right. So then on the next segment, we will start with that. Take another 5-minute break. Which one will you prefer? I prefer documentation to learn, Trey. I don't use AI to learn, personally, but that's my opinion. You can use AI to learn. I just choose not to. So. Yeah. I find AI, the thing with AI is I've used it a couple times, and I find that when I use it, I don't actually, like, read what it says. I just, like... I let it spoon feed me, and I don't want to be spoon fed this stuff, right? Like I want to use the documentation and kind of critically think about it, right? I think AI is too easy. And the thing is because it's too easy, I don't think you learn at a deep enough level. Docs plus Stack Overflow. Yeah, exactly, Ren. So that's kind of what I do, plus Reddit a little bit. Listen, I'm doing this old school, man. Because again, think of it this way. All of the senior devs out there right now all learned this way, right? And they're all now preaching AI, but they don't remember how they had to learn. The junior devs, if they use AI too much, I don't think that's the right way to learn. Like they're going to be cooked. They have to become like the senior devs. Like the senior devs learned this way. You have to learn this way to actually know what you're doing. Jinx old school, yeah, exactly. Yep. But no, I think it's important to learn this way so that you can actually deeply understand these technologies. That's why senior devs can use AI effectively because they had to learn the old way and actually think for themselves about this stuff, right? That's my belief. I think junior devs, it's the allure of AI is too strong, right? They have to, you have to almost like force yourself to not do it. And that's kind of like what I'm doing a little bit, right? So anyway, that's kind of my my philosophy when it comes to that. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna do 2 more Palmos today, I think. So I'll do 2 more 25-minute sessions. So I'll be live for another hour-ish. But yeah, I don't know. That's I gotta make like a video or something talking about my opinion, because like I keep, and this isn't any fault of chat, because like I am happy to answer this stuff, but I don't know. I want to like consolidate my thoughts and make a video on it, but I just don't have the time right now. Maybe after I move. But I have many thoughts on this. Because I do eventually want to make video content as well as streams. I just, with work and with my move coming up, I just don't have the time, unfortunately. So streams it is just for now. Maybe in this, as we get into the summer months, we can, I'll start making some content. I don't know. Because I would eventually like to monetize this YouTube channel. Maybe a little bit, just for a little, you know, side cash or something. Yeah. If you guys would watch, I will make, so... and I can even, if you're in my Discord, I know Renz, you're in my Discord, but you can, you know, suggest video ideas for me and stuff like that, because I need some ideas and stuff. But I have some ideas already on notes and stuff, but just kind of, you know, that's where I want to take this in the future. I want to do videos on top of it. I won't do videos too frequently, probably like 1 a week or something. Because I also have the full-time job, so I can't, you know, it'll be mostly working in the evenings and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, I don't know, just a thought. So don't think we'll be able to finish all of this today. I think I'll probably have to do refs and memoization tomorrow. But that's okay. Or at least I could probably start it by the end of this stream. I don't know, we'll see. We will see. Alright, let's get going here. Do another 25 minutes. Components with many state updates spread across. You get overwhelming. For those cases, you can consolidate all the state update logic outside your component into a single function. Yeah, okay. As your component grows, okay. Get harder to see at a glance all the different ways in which the component state gets updated. Yeah, that's the other thing with useReducer, right? Is it only takes in one state value. This reducer function only takes in one state value, so you're not updating state in multiple different ways. Which I think is good. It can get harder to see at a glance all the different ways. Task app comment. Each of its event handlers calls set tasks in order to update the state. Reducer are a different way to handle state. Along with, or as opposed, I guess it's not really opposed, on top of use state. Abstracts state into different. Check out nanostores, lightweight and portable. I'll take a look at it. Tiny state manager for React Native, React. View, Svelte, Salt. Wow, it's like used for a lot of things. Well, that's pretty cool. I'll bookmark that. There's nano stores in that. Rename. Can I rename this? edit. There we go. Use anywhere, even vanilla.js. That's awesome. That's cool. I saved it to my bookmarks. Ante. But again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm learning this just so that I know how the vanilla React does it, and then I can kind of use these libraries on top of that. But I think having this knowledge is important, even if I don't use it. Because again, it's more of conceptual than it is practical, at least in this case. Although it can be practical too. Because again, once you have the knowledge at a concept level, you can abstract it and then use those libraries that you mentioned, or those other utilities like nanostores or, you know, zoostand or whatever it is for different things. So that's kind of okay. So let's see. Abstract state into different reducer. Whoa, reducer function. I didn't even know that was a thing that you could do. I don't even know how I did that. I did like an AE combined character. I don't even know how the hell I did that. Okay. Reducers are a different way to handle state. You can migrate from useState to useReducer. Migrating from useState to useReducer. 3 steps. 1 is move from setting state to dispatching. Dude, I cannot type today. Write reducer function and use the reducer from your components. Your event handlers can currently specify what you do by setting state. Remove all the state setting logic. Yeah, so be like remove all state setting logic. Slightly different from setting state. So instead of telling React what to do by setting state, you specify what the user just did by dispatching actions from your event handlers. With useReducer, you specify what the user just did by dispatching actions from event handlers, as opposed to setting state directly. More descriptive of the user's intent. The objects you want to dispatch is the action. Which can have any shape. It's common to give a string type that describes what happened and pass any additional information into other fields. let's see, declare current state as the first argument. Jeez, I can type. Declare action object as the second argument. Return the next state from the reducer, which React will use to update the state, right? And declare outside of component. Code above uses if else, but convention is use switch statements. Convention is to use switch statements inside of reducers. Oops. Cases usually ends with turn. Or has to really, but low reducers can reduce the amount of code inside your component. They are actually named after the reduce operation. Takes the results so far on the current item and then returns the next result. React reducers are an example of the same idea. They take the state so far on the action and return the next state. In the way they accumulate actions over time into state. That's kind of a good way of thinking about it. Reducers, so let's say that they accumulate actions over time into state. Conceptual analogies, it's conceptually analogous to the array.reduce function in JS. You're installing Obsidian right now? Awesome, Renz. It's a good tool. I really like it. And the other thing too is I mentioned this earlier, but it does have Git integration. So if I go to like my community plugins, there's a community Git plugin by Vincent, right? And so what I can do with that is you can configure it. You can connect all, like I connect all of my notes to a remote repo. And then if I want to, you know, do a like commit and push, I can do Command P, and then git commit and sync, and then it commits and syncs to my private repo, which is pretty sick. So, kind of very convenient. And then they're just up there as like as markdown files. So if I go to my repositories list. Here, it's a private repo, but you've got like all my notes up here, right? So pretty cool. It's like a backup essentially. That's what you basically use it for. Oh. It's very handy. You can even use the reduce method with an initial state. An array of actions to calculate the final state by passing your reducer function into it. That's kind of confusing. Action change deleted. Oh, I see. These are the actions and then the updated stuff. Oh. And then this kind of goes through to, so task reducer is the state. Kind of confused though. So it goes to len and wall pick, yeah. Final state is actions dot reduce. Task reducer initial state. Ah, okay. And then this dot reduce function is like the array dot reduce. No, and then it deletes one and then adds that. That's kind of cool, actually. I like that. Should probably put this like, say you define a list of actions in an array. You can use the array.reduce function to sequentially reduce state with a reducer function, which is tasks reducer. I kind of like this example. Wait, what the fuck is wrong with this? Oh, because this is all. There we go. Indent this a little. No. Okay. It's fine. Not a big deal. Okay. Use the reducer from your component. Similar to use state. Pass in an initial state. And it returns a stateful value and a way to update state or update or set state with the dispatch function. Whoops. useReducer has two arguments: a reducer function and initial state, and it returns a stateful value and a spec function. Okay, so yeah, so two arguments: reducer function, initial state, two returns in two element array. Stateful value and dispatch. Now it's fully wired up. Here's the reducer. So it would be like this then. You move the reducer to a different file. Yeah, we already went through that. Component logic can be easier to read when you separate concerns like this. Now the event handlers only specify what happened to dispatching actions, and the reducer function determines how the state updates. Yes. Comparing use state and use reducer. Code size. Use state generally uses less code up front than write both the reducer function and dispatch actions. However, useReducer can help cut down the code, but useReducer can help with large states, can help with managing large states. Yeah, readability. Use state is very easy to read. They get more complex, they can blow your complex components code, but can get overcomplicated. And then, what was I going to say here? useReducer lets you cleanly specify. useReducer clearly separates concerns of using state, or I guess using state and updating it, and how the state updates in response to it being used or something. I don't know. Interacting with state, I should say. Okay. Debugging. You have a bug with use state, it can be difficult to tell where the state was set incorrectly and why. You can add a console log into your reducer. Easier to debug useReducer as the concerns of state management are separated and not interspersed within a component like useState. Testing. Reducer functions are pure and don't depend on the component. Can test it entirely in isolation. Personal preference. Some people like reducers, others don't. Recommend using your reducer if you often encounter bugs due to incorrect state. When use state becomes unruly and often leads to difficult bugs. Okay. Writing reducers well. Reducers must be pure. We already knew this. Each action describes a single user interaction, even if it leads to multiple changes in the data. Okay. I should probably write that somewhere. Each action describes a single user interaction, even if it leads to multiple changes in the state. Makes more sense to dispatch one reset form action rather than 5 separate set field actions. Yeah. Writing concise reducers with immer. You can use the immer library to make reducers more concise. Where's the reducer? Oh, here. Okay. Use immer. Use immer reducer. Okay. I'll push this out. How's it going, Mr. Kronos? I'm gonna take another 5-minute break here. Hope you're doing well. What am I doing? I am studying React concepts as a part of the Odin project. So right now I'm working on useReducer hook, the useReducer hook, I should say. So yeah, those are the concepts for today. And yeah, I'm using the Odin project. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's web dev stuff. Yeah, it's web dev stuff, specifically React. Also, I'm taking, when the timer's green, that means I'm on a 5-minute break. I do a Pomodoro timing method. So I do 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes of work. But I'm just going to, after this Pomo session, or sorry, after this break, I'm going to do one more Pomodoro, 25 minutes. And then I'm going to end stream. Thanks, Casey. But yeah, Odin Project's completely free. Open source. You can, you know, you're more into DSA. That's fair. That's fair. I have done DSA in the past. I do know DSA. I'm focusing on web dev specifically right now, but there, you know, it's not to say there isn't overlap. There is sometimes overlap. You're going to explore web dev soon. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I like it. Kronos. I like it. I've been doing it now for 80 days. It's kind of fun. I'm going to get into, right now my focus is mostly on front end, but I'm going to do back end. My goal is to be full stack. Some advice, honestly, just get started. Like, either choose the Odin project to get started, or like if you're brand new to web development, you can use Free Code Camp as well. Like, Free Code Camp has some, you know, some initial curriculums here. Like responsive web design, you can get started here if you're a brand new beginner or whatever. Use Odin project, and then establish a routine. So, you know, I do my streams 5 days a week-ish, 4 to 5 days a week, depending on, you know, am I making some money? Not from this. No, I work in IT full-time, Mr. Kronos, so I can actually give you a little, you can read my Who Am I in FAQ here. But no, I work in IT full-time. but I do this on the side as a hobby. Well, it's as a hobby, but also to learn because I want to learn development and stuff like that, web development. You know, front end, back end, full stack. Maybe to eventually make a career pivot someday, but not right away. Um, so, what project am I building? It's not a project right now, Z now. It's I'm just doing I'm just working on learning some more React concepts. So yeah, that's on the agenda for today. However, at the end of this, the React official docs are actually really good because at the end of their lessons, they usually have exercises for you to complete, which can help you kind of solidify the concepts in a practical way, at least in a very containerized manner, to kind of get a little bit of practice and exposure with these concepts, which makes it useful for when you actually use them in your projects, right? So. Yeah. Today's stream and then tomorrow's stream will probably be study streams. And then I'll get on to doing another project. Want me to subscribe? Well, that's up to you, Kronos, but I would appreciate it if you did subscribe. And I would appreciate you sticking around and following along my journey. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's completely optional, obviously. Use my downtime in IT support to teach myself how to code. Nice, Tante. Okay, you did it. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Kronos. But yeah, I mean, if you want motivation to do web development and stuff like that, you can use my streams as motivation. You know, I know some folks use that. They do work while I'm doing work, and it's kind of like provides like public co-working space. 40% of your time is free. Nice. Yeah, it's important to have free time. It's definitely important to have free time. Because if you work all the time, then you'll burn out probably. So I usually have a few hours free every day, just to kind of downtime, whether it's watching YouTube, watching a movie. Good luck. Thank you, Alto. I appreciate that. Whatever it is, it's important to decompress, right? Use useReducer lets you mutate the state with push or array I assignments. Okay, so use immer state lets you write concise reducers by mutating state with push or assignments. Work time started? Yes, it did. So I'm working, I work 25 minutes. Although I will say, I'm a little bit relaxed with it. I work, but I don't like lock in necessarily. I kind of divide my time between locking in and then chatting with chat because I'm happy to chat to you guys too. These streams are not just for me, but it's also for you. It's for all of us, right? So if you guys want to chat, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy, if it takes a little bit longer to get through a concept, but I'm, helping you guys out. That doesn't bother me whatsoever. Assignments. What is this? Can't spell, apparently. Okay. All right. Reducers must be pure, so they shouldn't mutate state, but immer provides you with a special draft object, which is safe to mutate. Jeez, okay. Immer provides a special draft object that is safe to mutate. Even if you don't mutate in the core reducer function. Right. Am I documenting? Yeah, I am. I mean, I do it for myself, Wyatt, because that's just how I learn. How many days did it take to get 1K subs? It took 3.5 months, so like 100 days. Just about, Mr. Kronos. I started this channel completely from zero. So. But you know what? I will say consistency does pay off. I would not have gotten 100K subs if I gave up. So, you know, me showing up when I can every week, multiple times a week, it's really done dividends. What IDE are you using to write the markdown? I'm using Obsidian. You can download it. It's a free markdown editor. All right, so let's do some of these. Let's do some of these exercises. That's the thing I like about this is it's monetized now. No, it isn't. I don't have the watch hours, Chronos. I'm only halfway to getting monetized with watch hours, because you need 4,000 watch hours to monetize, and I'm only at just under 2,000. I'm at like 1950 or so. So, and that's because I primarily only do streams, and the streams, not many people watch the VODs completely. Don't worry, you'll get it soon. I appreciate that. Well, if people like you stick around and watch, then that all that helps, right? Every minute watched helps. Every view helps. But no, it'd be nice to have a little bit of side income. I don't need the YouTube monetization, but it would be nice, I will say. Okay, so I'm gonna fork this, I think, as I do mostly with these exercises. So I'll do this here. Currently, the event handlers in contactlist.js and chat.js have to-do comments. This is what typing the input doesn't work. I'm assuming those watch hours go up when I watch the VOD too. They do. They do. It counts. So watch hours are anything. So it's any content I have. Long form videos that I upload, VODs, shorts even. But the shorts are like nothing, obviously. But technically watch hours go up with shorts. I think. I might be wrong on the shorts, actually. It might just be long form content and VODs. But on top of the VODs, I'm also planning on uploading long form videos, like uploads, eventually. I was mentioning that earlier in the stream. You're also going to start soon a YouTube channel. I really appreciate if you give me some advice. Honestly, Mr. Kronos, just make content that people want to see. You know, look at what's out there. Come up with something. And the number one thing, and I know you've probably heard this from a million people, but be consistent, right? The only reason I got to where I am today, and I'm not even that popular, right? Like I only have like 1,000 subscribers. It's not even that big of a deal. Like, I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm really appreciative of each and every one of you. But like in the grand YouTube landscape, 1,000 subscribers is like technically nothing. But even to get to that 1,000 subscribers, you know, it took 3 months of consistency, right? I showed up 4 to 5 days a week. I did the streams even when I didn't want to, you know, because you're going to get to a point where in your YouTube journey where you're not going to want to create content, right? But you have to like push through those days. And some days it really pays off. Like some days you're like, yeah, you know, I really want to stream today. Like right now I'm kind of, you know, happy to be streaming and I'm into it. I'm into this. But, you know, a couple weeks ago I was sick, you know, I wasn't like, maybe I don't really want to stream, but you just got to push through. And that's not to say, if you're really having a bad day, you shouldn't take the day off. Like there have been a couple days where I've been like, you know what, I just can't stream today. You know, I take the day off. But as long as you keep that to like a minimum, and you know you push through and you be consistent, then you will succeed eventually. It may take longer for you depending on, you know, what content you make. It may be shorter, you know, but you will succeed if you're consistent on some level. Whether you define success as 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, whatever it is. So Initially, my goal for this channel was to only hit 1,000 subs, and I reached that goal. I think my next goal probably is 10,000, but that's like far into the distance. Maybe I'll get to 10,000 someday, but who knows? Okay, buddy, thanks for the advice. Best of luck. I appreciate that, Mr. Kronos. I appreciate it. Yeah, 10,000 subs maybe like next year or something. I don't know. If I start making long form videos. Okay. Currently the event handler. Okay, so we need to go to the. I need to get this back up here. This view isn't really ideal. I wish I could have the preview like not. Yeah, I could have the preview in a different tab. Okay. Replace these to-dos with code to dispatch the corresponding actions. See the expected shape and the type of actions. Check the reducer and message reducer. The reducer is already written, so you don't need to change it. You only need to dispatch the actions in contact list and chat. Okay. So let's check that reducer. 10K is possible for sure. Yeah. Not for a while, KC, but definitely like far into the future. Like I'm talking like next year this time maybe. I don't see myself getting much past maybe have to go, need to study a lot. No worries, Mr. Kronos. Have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you coming by though and subscribing. What am I doing? I am studying React concepts. You can see what I'm working on here. But yeah, no, I think by the end of the summer I might be at like 2 or 3K subs, but no, I probably won't hit 10 for a while. Unless I start making content that blows up or something. But with the streams, they're not, the growth is pretty linear. I gain, roughly 10 subscribers per stream. And then so it's pretty linear growth. I mean, it goes up and down a little bit, but it's mostly linear. Yes. Okay. So I have to actually do this dispatch. So there's selected ID. So on change selection and then edited message. So it's not in the app. It would be in the chat. So this would be dispatch edited message. Okay. So read the input value from e.target value. Okay. So then we would need to do like a dispatch and then so we have the action. So dispatch. Let me see. Dispatch receives an action object as an argument. Right. Okay. So we just need the action object. That is the contact list. Not the contact list. I need a message reducer. So it receives the state, and then the action associated with it. So the state is the right. So action.type. So the action needs to be type edited message. Right? Or underscore, I should say. And then it was message, action message. State.count. I need to look at the dispatch stuff more, I think. It's because I've never used it before. Dispatch, type, deleted ID. Okay. So I don't need to include every property. I can just include what I need to. So I can do type, and then I can do... Actually, I'm probably just going to do this like this. So I can do type, and then what do we need here? We need the message to be e.target.value, right? I think that's right. And then that's good. And then we get the contact list is dispatch change selection. So we'll do type is changed selection, and then wait, what was the to do? I don't actually want to delete the to do. Oh, dispatch change selection. Okay. Selected ID. Is the action.contact ID. So it's contact.id then. I think that's it. You need to only dispatch the actions in contact list. Okay, so then how do we know if it's working or not? The real question. Maybe we can just get the preview up here. Not read properties of undefined or receiving ID. What? E. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. Cannot read properties of undefined. I didn't even set that up. Button on click. So that's the contact list. Selected ID is contact.id. Oh, contact. Yeah, no, that should be right. Yo, how's it going, Aziz Beck? Or can I just call you Aziz? Let me know. I don't wanna screw up your name. But welcome in. I'm almost done the stream today. Selected ID. Maybe it's just selected ID. Maybe that's what I need to put here. That's probably better, right? No? Shit. What the hell? Okay, let's see what the hint is here. The dispatch function is already available in both these components because dispatch is a prop, so you'll need to call dispatch with the corresponding action object. This means, okay. Means your action object should have type. Yeah, I already did that. So you need to include a contact ID property into your action. Action.contact ID. Oh, it's contact ID. That's the property. There we go. That's better. I think that works now, right? And then it's contact.id. There we go. That fixed it. Okay, so then we do, so we chat to Taylor, then we do hello, send to Taylor, Okay, but it doesn't keep the message, right? Message is actioned on message. Selected ID is action.contact ID. I feel like there's something wrong with the chat. Dispatch type edited message is e.target value. Send to contact.email. Maybe that just does nothing. Is this button just... I mean, here's actually Aziz back, but other vibe coders and streamers call me Aziz like Arabs. Oh, got you. Yeah, I thought it was Aziz, but yeah, I saw your intro in the Discord. But yeah, whatever you prefer. Whatever you prefer. I don't want to you know, feel free to correct me on names if I screw it up, guys. Okay. I just want to see if I did this right. For the chat. Yeah, e.target.value. That's all I did. Or maybe the behavior is what I want it to be. Okay, so that's fine. I think I did it right. Cool. All right, next solution. Clear the input on sending message. Currently pressing send doesn't do anything. Add an event handler to the send button. So I don't think I need to actually, I think I can keep the same project here. Or maybe I need to fork it. You know what? I'll just fork it. I don't care. I just want it to be perfect. Not perfect, but I want it to be right. Why is this like... Okay. Okay, app.js. Okay. So we should have our... should have our contexts. Yeah. Okay. Currently pressing send doesn't do anything. Add an event handler to the send button that will show an alert when there's recipient's email in the message. Clear the message output. Okay. So that's in the chat, right? So we need a on click, I think. Event handler to the... So we need an on click. That will show an alert with the recipient's email and the message. And then clear the message input. Okay, so then we need to do an on click. And then we do like some sort of like handle send message. Handle send or something. So we'll do an alert with the message. I don't think I need to use useState or useReducer. Where am I using useReducer anyway? useReducer's here. State dispatch. useReducer. Ah, okay, it's being passed from the app, okay. Show an alert with the recipient's email and the message. Clear the message input. I think your stream might be behind, Aziz. I'm not 100% sure. Or your viewing of the stream might be behind. So I'll do the recipient's email. So I'll do contact.email. And then the message. Or just the message. Yeah. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. Maybe not though. It could have caught up. Okay, and then we need to dispatch. Clear the message input. So we need to dispatch the type is changed. No, actually, edited message. Edited message. And then the message is cleared, right? I think that's all we need to do. And then, so we do the handle send here. I think that's it. Let's try it. Okay, so hello. TaylorMail.com, hello. And then it clears it. Perfect. All right, I think we did that. All right, cool. That's that one done. So we did this handle send here. Restore input values from switching. Okay, so fork. And then I think that was probably what it was here, right? Ah, it just did. Okay, so they just ended it, embedded it right in there. I just externalized the function. All right. I think I'm gonna finish these two challenges today, and then I'll probably end stream. I'll let it go till I finish these, unless one really stumps me. This example, switching between different recipients always clears the text input. This is because you don't want to share a single message draft between several recipients, but it would be better if your app remembered a draft. Your task is to change the way state is structured so that you remember a separate message draft per contact. You need to make a few changes to the reducer, the initial state, and the components. This might actually take me longer, so maybe, I don't know, we'll see. This is because you don't want to share a single message draft between several recipients. Remember to draft for each contact separately. Okay, so let's change the initial state first. So the reducer, so this is fine actually as this initial state, because select ID 0. Because then we would need to initialize an array for each contact. So maybe we even, so in the initial state, we would need to store an array of messages. Right? Instead of just one singular message. So const message is state.message. The only problem is I don't know how to contacts. I don't think contacts is exported here. I don't know how to know for this messages stuff here. I don't know how to ID name email unless I add it to this. I could add a draft to these contacts here. And then do that. Chat is message.message. State.message. I could do a draft. I could do a draft component. What's the issue? I'm just solving a problem. I'm doing a challenge on one of these websites here, or on the for useReducer. Banu. So essentially, I'm just doing some refactoring. Draft per contact. You would need to make a few changes to the reducer. Yeah. So essentially, let's see if there's like a hint. Messages. Oh yeah, you could do that. Okay. Got it. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of doing. Okay. So that's a good idea. So we can actually do it like this. So we'll do message and then like 0 and then hello Taylor 1 hello Alice 2 hello Bob. I think it was just like and then message is action.message. Yeah, so we have the messages here. And then we need to switch between them. So the message here is state message. So we need to do so contacts. That's from this, okay. State.selected ID. So then I do something similar with this. So state.message messages dot find. And then I'll do I guess this isn't really this is like a ID. Where's the ID dot? Where was the, how are we indexing that? ID message, okay. Actually, I need to do it like this, I think. State.messages.find. So it goes through the messages, And then, so this is actually an ID. And then we need to say ID is equal to state.selected ID. I guess I can't do that over the state, now that I think about it. Maybe not. Let's just set it to state.messages and see what happens. Yeah, so it's gonna obviously have like objects, okay. So state.messages and then like 0. Hello Taylor, yeah. And then this needs to be the CID, so state.selected ID. Maybe we could do that. All right, that's better. And then we can do, for the edited message, we get the messages action.message. Okay, so I have to change how this is actually put in here. Which frameworks is he studying? I'm studying React. I just want to finish this one problem here, and then I'm going to go for the day. So message reducer. But yeah, but I wanted to see how it was being used. Type edit message. So it'd be messages contacts.id, right? Yeah. Key value, Unless this doesn't work like this, I probably have to actually do... Oh, you know what? No, I can just pass it into this, like how I had it before. I don't actually think I need to bother. So I can do state, selected ID, and then message. So change selection, so that's actually fine. And then I can do just ... state.messages. Actually, I can actually just leave it like this. State dot messages. I can just do state dot messages. And then message, and then ID within this. There's action.message. And then I think I need to put this inside of its own. Like that. And then sent message, and then we send it and set it to be nothing. Okay. And then we do something like very similar to how we had it here. Type sent message. I think that's fine. See if this is broken. Type error, return state. Not assigned to read-only property message of object syntax error. Maybe I don't do it like that. Spending our evening trying to make React state behave like functioning adult. Inspired stuff, really. Appreciate that, Droid Jam. So, can I do like messages ID? Does that work? You came from web development, stayed for the emotional support group disguised as React press. Yeah, exactly. It does look hard. I don't know honestly what I'm doing here. Let's see. Not assigned to read-only properly message or syntax error. Yeah, because I'm just trying to update the fucking state. I just want to see. Because I want to only update that one ID, so I'm just gonna see what the solution says. Yeah, so something like this. Okay, so yeah, okay, so I see. So I have to obviously prefix it. So I have to do. I was close. So I just have to do it like this. I think the only thing I was missing here was this. Right? Yeah. That now works, I think. So that was the one thing I was missing. So if I edit this, and then I go back, yeah, okay, cool. And then send to Bob. Okay, cool, that works. That works. All right, let's see, do we do one more? Let's see what this last challenge looks like. Oh, implement useReducer from scratch, okay. In earlier examples, you imported useReducer hook for React. This time you'll implement the useReducer hook itself. Here is a stub to get you started. It shouldn't take you more than 10 lines of code. Spent 5 years deep in AI and automation. Honestly, React state management still looks like an ancient cursed mythology. Yeah. It's kind of brutal, I'm not going to lie. Is he using AI or just documentation typing by himself? Yep. Documentation typing by myself, Billy Bird. No AI. Implement useReducer. I might do this last exercise just to cap it off here. Unless, well, yeah, we'll just do this, and then I'll end stream. No AI. Yeah, no AI. Okay. So where was that defined? Yeah, here you can read my FAQ if you're curious on what I'm about here. My React.js. Okay, so does this use useReducer? Okay, so const useReducer equals function, and then the useReducer takes in what? Oh, sorry, this is the useReducer. This is the useReducer function. Okay, so then we have state, set state, and then we have the reducer. And then we need to understand what the useReducer does. So, it's a little easier said than done. So it brings in the reducer function and then the dispatch, which calls that, right? So it calls that reducer based on the initial state. So we need to set the state to this initial state first, right? So we need to do that. So we need to do set state, initial state, I think, to start. Love seeing streams where people genuinely explain things instead of just speedrunning code like they're defusing a bomb. Well, I appreciate that, Droid Jam. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying my best. I'm also just learning, right? So we have to do the dispatch function ourselves. Then the dispatch takes in what? Again, it takes in a... The dispatch takes in the new state, right? Or does it take in the reducer? But I have access to the reducer, so I don't even need it like that. So let's see. And then you call the reducer with that. With that in there. So it actually does need to take in that new state, right? And then it basically just it calls the reducer. So it does a const new state, or I should say action really is what I should put here. So I should say const updated state equals reducer action. But it takes a state and an action. So maybe the state like this. Manual building useReducer, respect. Most people just install 14 libraries and call themselves full stack. Well, that's just... So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, Droid Jam. I kind of... I'm just doing the exercises out of this article. And I use the Odin Project to kind of guide my learning. But yeah, building it from scratch. Trying to. Updated state reducer, state action, and then what? So we get the updated state and then we just set it, right? Is it that easy? I don't know if it's that easy. I feel like that's too simple. And then we need to make sure that the action has a type. We can do some error handling on that. So let's see hint. Yeah, so that's already what we got, right? Oh, you state initial state. Then we don't need to set state 2 in the initial state. I'm dumb. We don't need that. So it's literally just this, right? Is it literally just that? It seems too easy. Maybe. So if we do that, and then it saves. And then we do this, and then it should clear, yeah. Okay, I guess that was it. I guess it was that easy. It's not even 10 lines of code, it's like 4. Let's just see if that's what it was. Yeah, it's literally that easy. Nice. Okay. All right, we did it. We implemented useReducer. That's cool. So you literally just get the next state from the reducer and then set the state. That's pretty great. All right, so that's it for now. I think that's it for that. These exercises. Yeah, there's only 4 of them. So. In the next stream, I'll skim this useReducer documentation. And then, so I'll start with the second part of this assignment and hopefully, do some refs and memoization next stream and hopefully finish off the React course. And yeah, and then from there, I'm going to build a front-end project, hopefully get one started. Nearly done the React course. Yes, I am. I'm just about done this reducing state function, or this reducing state lesson. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed what you saw, I'd really appreciate a subscribe. Every single subscription helps. Every single view helps. It's all great. If you want to be a part of my community, I have almost 150 members in my Discord. You can join my Discord, chat to like-minded developers of all skill sets and all skill levels. Link is at the top of the description. Thank you all for coming, and I will see you all. You can check the Discord too for updated stream scheduling, I guess. And I'll be live again tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, I appreciate you, Casey. See you next stream.